I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your cattle market summary for the week ending October the 7th. Brought to you in part by the International Brangus Breeders Association. Are you still unsure what the perfect combination is for your herd? Ultra Black and Ultra Red genetics derived from Brangus breeding allow you to inject a low percentage of ear, just enough. And research has shown that these Ultra Black sired cattle have a higher value per head than just straight black cattle. For more information or to find a breeder near you, visit gobrangus.com. Can you imagine what this wreck would be like if we didn't have such cheap inputs? Now, it took a perfect storm for cattle to get as high as they did there the last couple of years. We were very tight in numbers, and everything just fell right into place to get these cattle as high as they did. Fats at $1.70 and calves up over $3, yearlings over $2 or well into the $2 range. But just imagine what it would be like if we were in a drought and corn was awful high and we were short of hay and all these different things. We didn't have good domestic beef demand. It could have really been worse, and it's as bad as we can imagine right now, but it could have been a whole lot worse. One thing I've noticed here is we don't see these cheap cost of gains showing up in your feeder cattle market. Your lighter feeders, your 6-weight feeders and low 7-weight feeders should be a lot higher than your big yearlings, but everybody wants the big yearlings because it gives them less risk, a shorter time on feed, and they think they maybe have a chance of getting out on them. But these lighter weight feeders should, cost of gains are down in the 50s, a lot of them are saying. I've heard some guys talk about some outstanding performing cattle and the conditions were just right in the low 50s. Well, you're buying something that just costs a little over $1 and you're feeding it from the 50s. You ought to be able to back that up quite a bit, but it's really not showing up in your feeder cattle markets. You look at your futures this week, all week, your live cattle futures on October. Monday was up 2 cents. Tuesday was up 2.97. We thought there was never going to be another poor day. Of course, it didn't ring true there. Wednesday was up just 95. Thursday down 42. And Friday down 55 cents. To end the week at 101.87. Feeder cattle futures for Monday were up 82. Tuesday was up a little over $4. Wednesday was down 55. Thursday up 37. Friday down 20 to end the week at 127.62. Your November feeder futures are at 122.77. But you got to remember they're cranking those weights up a little bit. Instead of being on a 750 pound base weight, we're moving to 800 pound base weight. And then that should really sop up about $3 or $4 of that $5 discount there that the November is trading at. So really not all that bad. And your December live cattle futures are actually a little over $1 higher than what October is at 103.05. So we may have kind of gotten close to bottoming out here on these cash fat cattle prices. The fats, we did sell a little bit more of them there on Friday at 102. And like I said on the last video, that's not the end of the world. It's $2 lower in the Southern Plains, but your weighted average was 102.65, so we're really not that far off of that. And your weighted average for this whole past week should be real close to 102 whenever it comes out here next week. But in Iowa, they're really struggling to sell their fats, selling it from 99 to $1, which they've done the last 2 weeks. Dress trade in the Northern Plains from 158 to 160, which is $3 to $5 lower. And we are going to have a decent negotiated movement, or more than a decent, because through Thursday it was 87,500 in the 5 areas, and they traded some more cattle on Friday, so we're going to be well into the 90,000 range, and that's a whole lot in this day and time for negotiated trade. Box beef cutout values did take a hit this past week, quite a bit lower, and finished the week lower too. But on your average trade through last week, choice carcasses at 184.72 down 391, selects down 314 at 176.06. Your slaughter turned out to be better than a lot of people feared. Everybody's worried about these cooler cleanings and everything, but they're forgetting how much these packers are making. They're well into the black on these margins. They have been all year long. They just can't resist. They're going to have a 53,000 head Saturday, so estimating at 605,000 for last week, and a lot of people thought it'd be well under 600,000, but we've gone for several weeks here over 600,000. That's a lot more than we've been killing for the last several years. but the 605 was 6,000 less than last week and 53,000 more than the same week a year ago, and our slaughter is up 4.7% year to date. Cash feeder cattle 4 to 7 lower for the most part on your feeder cattle across the nation. Some prices as much as $10 or $15 lower, but that's mostly on your calves. And the reason we don't break it as much, because it's not just on your lightweight calves, it's on your big calves. This time of year you get a lot of those middleweight calves and those heavy fat calves weighing in the 6 and 7s. They're still ballers. They're carrying a lot of flesh that will absolutely melt on you whenever you take them home, and they get into that hot day, cool night thing, and it's really hard to straighten those cattle up. And on some of those unweaned ballers, I mean as much as $15 or $20 lower in a lot of places, especially early there in the week before the board turned around on Tuesday. But you look at some quotes there that kind of show what I was talking about on these different weight classes. Your Lexington, Nebraska there, Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, sold 116 head, 554-pound steer calves, and they would have been, I mean, the deal. Really fancy kind, 554 pounds at 143. And then you look at Lexington, Nebraska, the same sale there, 210 in the afternoon, a little bit earlier than that. They sold a string weighing almost, or a little over 100 pounds more, 205 head, weighed 657, bring $1.60 more at 144.60. So where's the benefit of having that cheap cost of gain right there? Check out dvauction.com for your production sales schedule there. Here on Saturday we've got about 13 production cattle sales you can watch and bid on. I'm personally going to be at the Cox Excalibur Brangus sale here in South Texas, and we're expecting a lot of out of the country bidders there to take advantage of some of that heat tolerance on these Brangus cattle. But that's starting at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So on the road here with DV Auction, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.